Roger Federer, one of the greatest tennis players of all time. But what would happen if Federer played padel? Would he rise to the top of his sport, or would he fail to adapt to this unique game? I studied every detail of padel, talked to experts, and watched endless Federer compilations to find the answer.
If you like what we do, subscribe and follow us on Insta. Gracias. Ever since I ditched tennis and started playing padel, I've been obsessed with one question. How fast can a tennis player learn padel? And would a top tennis athlete be able to compete in this crazy new sport? Padel has some big similarities with tennis. After all, it was created by a Mexican businessman who didn't have enough space in his house for a tennis court, so he built something much smaller. Soon padel landed in Spain and Argentina, and the rest was history. But the size of the rackets, the courts and the walls create some real difficulties for tennis players, as I've experienced myself. So to answer this question, I first needed to go back in time. Throughout the years, a few tennis players have transitioned into professional padel. In fact, my coach, Pitu Lozada, was once a promising junior tennis player before he decided to transfer into padel because he liked the game. And then he became world number 1. Since then, players like Marta Morero, who was number 46 in the world at tennis and reached number 1 in the world in padel, Daniel Vindal, who was a promising junior tennis player and now is ranked 49 in Premier Padel, and Jaime Fermacel have all regained their hunger for competition in this new sport. Even Roger's old pal David Nalbandian has played a few professional padel matches. So does that mean Roger would go straight to the top? Federer had flawless technique. He was able to direct the ball with incredible precision and power. He also had impeccable timing and reactions, which would be crucial in a fast-paced sport like padel. Compared to most other modern tennis players, Federer had amazing volleys, and he's widely considered to have one of the best serves in the game, which would be helpful in hitting powerful and precise kick smashes. Federer's movement was also top-notch. So effortless and efficient with his moves, it looked like he was floating on the court. Obviously, the movement patterns in padel are quite different, often being very multi-directional and explosive. But it seems likely that Federer could adapt. But if Federer played padel, he wouldn't be competing with former tennis players anymore. The game has gone from strength to strength, and the likes of Coelho, Tapia, Galan and Chingoto have all played padel since a very young age and would make for formidable opposition. And even if Federer played for a number of years, defending off the wall takes a long time to get used to. And who really knows how Federer would have handled a double sport where you must rely and trust in your partner at all times and find someone who complements your strengths in order to reach the top. With all of that in mind, it's not surprising that nowadays there aren't any former tennis players close to the top of the Premier Padel rankings. The closest person is probably Daniel Vindal, who's ranked at 49, and so far has struggled to make a mark against the top 10 players. But who knows, maybe this will change in the future. Vamos, Daniel. After going back and forth on this question, I decided to talk to someone who knew way more about padel than me. David Soriano is a pro padel trainer at one of the biggest clubs in Spain.
If he would have started now training, no, it's impossible. It's impossible. The big difference between 10 years ago and now is the physical quality that all the players have.
What happens if Roger starts playing padel in his prime, 26 years old, and he trains for 2-3 years? Does he have a chance?
No, for me, no.
Still not.
Yeah. But not because it's not only physical. Then you have to move. You have to use the wall. The glass is very good. The rebound, and in a tennis player, in his mind, they don't have. Okay, do you know this?
I know this. Yeah.
They don't have in their mind that a ball that comes, if I don't hit it, the ball is going to return to me, and I have to move.
And what happens if Roger he starts as a kid? Then,
no.
Then have we got a problem? Have Tapia Coelho got a problem on their hands?
I think Roger, it's a player that he could be top nearly in every sport. He has a mentality and a quality that I have never seen in a tennis format. Who doesn't laugh when Rafa and Roger was in their prime? What is tennis? Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Subscribe for more Padel content. The more I thought about it, the more I started to agree with David. The current number ones in Padel are at an insane level. And for Roger to be able to catch up with them, he would need to start playing Padel very young as a kid. That's not to say that if Roger took up Padel later on, he couldn't get to a very high level. If we're being optimistic, maybe he could get a ranking just outside the top 10. But Coelho, Tapia, Galan and LeBron are safe for now. Thanks for watching and see you soon on the court.